On tap, Pliny the Elder. Hi, I'm James Knott, and this is your Better Beer Authority. Today, we're drinking Pliny the Elder from Russian River Brewing Company. But before we talk about it, I just want to say, Chris Stouts, what's up, Beer Geek Nation? Anyways, the brewery was founded in 1997 and specializes in aggressively hopped California-style ales, Belgian-style ales, and barrel-aged beers. The brewery is currently running at capacity and has no plans to expand, so those hard-to-find Russian River brews are going to stay hard to find. Pliny the Elder, the beer, is a double IPA with 8% alcohol by volume and 100 IBUs. Beer nerds go crazy for this beer, and it won gold medals at the World Beer Cup and Great American Beerfest. Pliny the Elder, the human, was a Roman scholar and naturalist who had a role in creating the original botanical name for hops. Chef, first impressions come down to aroma. What are your first impressions of this beer?
First impressions of this beer, when we first opened it, it was very, very piney. I mean, very strong piney smell to it. I was expecting something that was going to be overly bitter and I mean, just kind of almost an off-putting taste to it based on the aroma.
Joby, what about you? What were your first impressions of this beer?
Well, like Chef was saying, like when we opened the bottle, before we even poured the glass, just smelling it out of the bottle, it was definitely piney. Definitely piney. Like he said, we expected something really bitter, but when we first tasted it, the taste is really well balanced. You know, it's got tons of hops in there, as you can tell, but for whatever reason, you know, the way the beer is made, it's a hell of a balanced beer, and there's no afterbite or anything. It's just smooth all the way through.
Scott, I know you like this beer. What do you like about this beer?
Clearly, it's drinkability. Everything about the beer. I think that it has an amazing citrus, piney aroma, and the flavor itself. I mean, like you said, it's just a perfectly balanced beer. It has that bitterness that you really like, but at the same time, it kind of balances out with that characteristic. Again, I mean, obviously, it's Pliny the Elder. I mean, they're kind of making a play on it as far as the history of the beer and where it came from. So it has that hops that are involved in. I love that bitterness to a beer, and this beer, they do it better than any beer I've ever tasted.
Chef, as it warms, I'm picking up a little more sweetness. I mean, are you getting that sweetness in the flavor as well as the
I got the sweetness right from the beginning. You get the caramely notes, you get the citrus notes, you get the apricot flavor. I mean, this really, truly is the quintessential IPA. Has all of the aroma and all of the flavor characteristics that I would picture in a perfect IPA.
I just don't even see how you guys have even tasted it when it's warm.
How we made it that far?
No,
We poured our glasses bigger than yours.
Yeah.
That explains a lot. Pick your friends better is what that says.
Chef, what is your rating on this one?
I'm going to give this a 10. I mean, this is top of my list, probably one of my favorite beers to drink of all times. And I'm asking the Better Beer Authority community, we can't get this here in Ohio, send us more. I would love to have more.
Okay. Joby, now this was sent to us by David and Richard Hartogs, our good buddies in Virginia, and social media directors here on Facebook and the BBA website.
Would you like me to review them?
And
We heart the Togs.
well, we appreciate you guys for sending this to us. Joby, they had a hard time finding this in the stores. Do you feel like a beer like this should be hard to find, or should they be making more of it?
Ooh, that's kind of a double-edged sword, James. I mean, the way it tastes and the popularity it has, I can see why it's so hard to find because of the popularity. You know, everyone loves it. It's great tasting. It's very smooth, so it's going to fly off the shelves. You know, but then again, on the other side of the book, do they mass produce it so it's always available, or do they kind of scale back a little bit and kind of make it a little more hard to find, make it kind of a treasure hunt. When you do find it, you got to savor it.
But if they don't diminish, if the taste and they don't diminish what goes into making the beer and the taste, the flavor, everything still pulls through, I don't see why they shouldn't make more of it.
The other challenge that I have is, they market all over the bottle. Do not save this beer. Drink this as soon as you buy this beer. Drink it cold, drink it fresh, drink it all. That's my challenge that I have. If I can get my hands on this beer, I do want to save it for a special occasion because we can't get our hands on it. But if we could get our hands on it on even more of a regular basis, even if it was a limited release kind of thing, I would buy a bunch of this and drink it over one session. I mean, this is a great beer.
Right, but do we know for a fact that they don't produce a lot of it, or do we know for a fact that they produce a ton of it and it just can't stay on the shelves? We don't know one way or the other, do we?
Nope.
But I can tell you this: we can't get it here, so I'd like to see it here. So
we can't
that's
get
what
a
I'm
lot-
saying, Russian.
Right,
Bring
we
it.
can't get a lot of beers here in Ohio. So if they could open up their distribution to Ohio, I mean, great. We would,
Even if it was just on tap at a bar.
yeah. From us, how hard it was for the Heart Dogs to find and send to us. If we could put a message out to Russian River Brewery, make more of it, make it easier to find in Ohio.
Maybe we're just putting our eggs in the wrong basket, and the Heart Dogs aren't the right people to find the beer.
Hey, if you must sit on
Just
eggs.
kidding.
Scott, how much would a 17-ounce bottle of this be worth to you?
Honestly, I'd probably pay $15 a bottle for this. Easy.
You would? More than Dogfish Head 120-minute IPA.
Absolutely.
I mean, on a
Absolutely.
regular basis. I'm not
Absolutely.
talking about like this one-time treat. Like,
Absolutely. No, I would pay that. I mean, I wouldn't. But
I'd pay-
I wouldn't. I mean, you
I'd
live
pay
within your
$8 or
means.
$10 a bottle.
you
I-
would?
I really would.
I would not.
Absolutely.
I think it's a good beer, but I mean,
Yeah.
on a regular basis, I'm not paying.
I mean,
more
I
than
give this a
$5
10. I don't
for
even know
this.
if I gave you my rating, but I give this a 10.
This
so
is
that
1
tells
ounce
you right
more
there.
than a pint.
Hey,
You got a 10.
yeah, this is a good beer. I mean, an amazing beer.
Hey, Adam, you're a 10.
True.
Joby, what are you? Is it it's not the perfect score.
I'm a 9, James. I mean, it's a great beer, and again, it's a 9. It's one of my favorites. But I just, it's hard for me to give a beer a 10 right now. Probably because of the price point.
I think it's just because of your Joby No 10s.
Well, I probably am.
Well,
Joey
do you know how
Notez,
much
but
this beer was per bottle?
It's like $6 or $7 a bottle.
Again, that's, I mean,
So
some of the beers that we
I'm
drank,
saying
even
based
even
on
the
the
green
Ohio
flash
tax,
beers we were drinking
I'd be
earlier.
willing to pay $8 to $10.
Look, that's you. You have your opinion. I'm gonna have mine.
yeah, the stouts and porters earlier, just so you know, were $3 a piece.
That's
And that's, smaller than this by far.
And that all has its points. I mean, for me personally, to have one bottle at $5 or $6, I mean, I'm giving this beer a 9. It's not like I'm dissing this beer by any point.
No, I'm just arguing with your reasoning for not giving it a 10. You just said it has to do with the monetary factor involved with it, and I think that's a weak excuse for why you're not giving it a 10. Personally. But I
So give us another reason why you're not giving it a 10.
Well, because I'm Joby No 10s.
All right, newsflash. Pliny the Elder gets the highest rating to date on the Better Beer Authority, a 9.7. No beer has ever gotten that high. It's a good beer. You should go out and buy it. Let us know what your favorite IPA is. Have you had Pliny the Elder? Do you think it's as tasty as we do? Let us know in the comments section. Thanks for watching. I'm James Knott, and this is your Better Beer Authority.
Better Beer Authority, Better Beer Authority, Better Beer Authority.